I'm often asked by many of the people in our bootcamp or many viewers of this channel, do I need a college degree to break into tech sales? And the answer is no and yes. I want to break this down a little bit further because it really depends, and I think if you have proper expectations going into this tech sales process, going into your interviews, it can really help you save a lot of time and also land at a place that's a great fit for your background. So in short, if you do not have a college degree, there are many companies like FANG companies, like up-and-coming large tech companies that candidly almost always want a degree or past sales experience. So if you're breaking into tech sales with zero college degree or zero sales experience, it's worth trying to find lower and earlier startups that are maybe open to you transitioning into a role as an SDR. Now, there's many ways to go about this. Again, if you're in a place where you want a bootcamp, there's several options you can look into. Again, we have one if you're interested. But that being said, I think the important thing, especially if you don't have a degree, is to be very tactful in how you're actually approaching these different startups. Yes, I mean, sure, you can apply if you have relevant experience in a different industry, or maybe you were a technical writer or something of that nature. These are things that are great in terms of breaking into tech sales, but I'm really gonna need to see via the way that you apply, via the way that you message the sales manager and hiring managers in parallel, that show me that you have a genuine interest and ability to do sales well. Now, on the flip side, don't get me wrong, it's not like all hope is lost. I have definitely seen candidates that did not have a college degree ultimately break their way into very large and prominent tech companies, but I think it's worth saying again that you have to have maybe 3 to 5 years of very solid experience. And when you transition to those larger tech companies, you may have to take a title step down. So say, as an example, you enter in at a smaller tech company as an SDR, you work your way up to account executive, maybe you get to enterprise account executive as well. When you're trying to transition into those larger tech companies, for many different reasons, they'll probably want you to come in as maybe a mid-market or an SMB account executive, or maybe an equivalent role like an account manager role, managing maybe mid-tier accounts. And there's lots of reasons for that, but generally, if you're getting to these large FANG companies at the highest levels of the enterprise level, these reps have 15, 20 years experience. They're working with the largest brands in the world, and they're usually maybe working 1 or 2 accounts at a time. Like a very good friend of mine I met very early in my career is the sole guy at the company that he's at for Tesla. That's his only account. He spends all day trying to meet people that are using their product or that could use their product in Tesla, and over time tries to expand how much Tesla is using of their particular product. Now, on the flip side, if you do have a college degree, if you're just coming out of school, or maybe you have a college degree and 2 to 3 years of professional experience and you're trying to break in, you can definitely pretty much go anywhere you want, again, within reason, right? Like if you're just graduating, you have a 2.0 GPA, I mean, you're not going to get into these large tech companies right out of the gate. But if you have maybe a relevant STEM degree, particularly at something like AWS, Google Cloud, companies in a very technical domain, they almost always do want STEM degrees, but they will hire right out of school. And then if you're looking at other mid-sized to fast-growing unicorn companies, maybe companies that are Series D and above, about to go public, yes, at that point, they do probably minimally want a degree. They're open-minded, maybe have a marketing degree, economics, whatever it might be, public relations, but at a minimum, unfortunately, there still is that barrier that they do almost always want that degree. But again, not all hope is lost. I think if anything, it is very possible to break into tech sales without a college degree. I've made some videos, and again, I do have a bootcamp if you're interested in ways that you can message hiring managers in parallel, ways that you can interview well, because at the end of the day, once you get through the initial screening, once you get through HR and sales management initial interviews, the college degree thing goes out the window. If you are presenting yourself as someone who's very capable in tech sales, no one cares that you don't have a degree. But again, it will be more difficult to even get in the door in the first place. So you have to be very tactful. You've got to be very savvy in the way that you're not only applying, not only presenting your past experience in the context of revenue generating activities like I've mentioned in other videos, but also the way that you're communicating at all times, the way that you're messaging managers in parallel to really get attention to your background. And again, long term, these FANG companies, these great, huge tech companies are definitely in play. Get 3 to 5 years of experience in at these lower to mid-sized tech companies. And at that point, especially if you've had success, especially if you've really done well for yourself, you enjoy the craft, you're going to have lots of options down the line. So I don't make this video to be discouraging, but candidly, if you don't have a degree, don't waste time applying to AWS. Don't waste time applying to Google Cloud if you have no sales experience and you're just trying to break in. Find startups in your area, find good startups or boot camps that maybe introduce you to other tech companies. And once you get your foot in the door, keep honing in on your craft, keep getting better, keep trying to start relationships in whether it's meetups or tech sales groups online or whatever it may be. Keep expanding your network, and over time, as you continue to get better, as you continue to improve on the craft of sales, opportunities will only continue to open up for you. So I hope that helps, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.